Hello, everyone. This is Daryl Andrews, Coach D, and I'm excited to bring information to you regarding our empowering self-care speeches, trainings, and systems that have been empowering workforce leaders and employees around self-care for quite a few years. Now, why am I excited about sharing this information with you? Well, today more than ever, because of the trauma of the COVID-19 pandemic, and all of the residual effects of it, being trauma in our homes and trauma in our community, trauma in our work life, there's a significant need to help team members, be it leaders or staff, focus on self-care. So why is self-care important? Well, we're not talking about arrogance. We're talking about it's all about me. What we're in essence talking about with self-care is the process of filling up the tank. And what I mean by that is, be it if you work with students, or if you work with clients in workforce development, or if you're dealing with customers in corporate, most of the time you're pouring out, which kind of empties you and depletes you internally, which leads to stress, which leads to angst, frustration, in some cases, even physical issues. But when you focus on self-care, from the internal perspective, then you are now filling up your tank in order to do your job effectively. So with our training or our systems, which we can help your organization establish a self-care system via coaching and ongoing training, is really designed to focus again on the internal introspective aspects of self-care versus just the yogas and smoothies that we hear all the time that typically don't last long. So from our perspective, what we think is important with self-care to focus on really is designed to help you make this a way of life, a way or ingrained in our organizational culture that it's a norm. So we focus on the psychology of self-care and why we need to look at the importance of growth mindset and things of that nature, and the challenges we may have with taking care of ourselves the way we would like to. We want to talk about the psychology of it. And then we want to talk about the connection between trauma-informed care and self-care, and why, with such an emphasis on trauma-informed care, we need to tie it to self-care, because one of the strengths of self-care is helping with trauma. So we want to talk about that. We want to also talk about overcoming compassion fatigue, because depending on what field you work in, you may experience a lot of it, and how self-care can help. When I'm one who works in the field where compassion is going all the time, I need, again, fill my tank up. Let's keep in mind, that's the focus. And then using motivational tools to help you and your peers to be able to address and handle self-care. Self-care should be a team effort within organizations. And we have a system in place that helps that takes place. And then also developing your own self-care plan, because we focus again on systems, because here's a quote, all right? We don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. So we want to talk about a system. So be it a one-time training or multiple trainings with coaching ongoing for several months, 3 or 4 or 5 months, depending on how long you like to go, we would love to discuss with you our self-care model, because it's necessary today. And even though people won't say it in the workplace, many people are dealing with challenges. And unfortunately, as those challenges compound, it makes it more difficult to be effective in my work and even in my home to be able to deal with things there. So reach out to us about our empowering self-care systems. We'd love to work with you. But at minimum, maybe we should have a 15-20-minute conversation. If you go to our website and look at some of the links that's in this information, you'll be able to schedule a 15-20-minute conversation to talk and see if we can be of assistance. So thank you so much. Self-care is the need of our times. And I would hope that we could be of assistance to you. Thank you. Take care.